I am Don Pope Davis, Dean of the College of Education and Human Ecology at The Ohio State University. We collaborate with the college's Alumni Society to recognize outstanding alums who have distinguished themselves through their contributions to their fields and to the college. The competition for these awards is significant, and those who are chosen are truly remarkable in what they have achieved and contributed. This year, we are recognizing 9 individuals through 4 award categories: Career Achievement, New Leaders, Meritorious Service, and Hall of Fame. It is my honor and privilege to describe these categories for you and their significance. The Career Achievement Award honors the college's alumni who have proven records of career accomplishments. They have made outstanding contributions to their profession or made a difference in the lives of others through outstanding professional contributions. The emphasis is on teaching, mentoring, or other ways in which they have shared their skills and talents with others in their profession. The New Leader Award is granted to alumni aged 36 or younger at the time of their nomination for significant professional accomplishments or service to the college and society. Recipients show promise of significant future accomplishments. The Meritorious Service Award is presented to alumni for dedicated service to the college and the university. Recipients must have supported the college and university by making considerable commitment in terms of their time, effort, and service, assisting through creative, innovative input, or making significant financial contributions. And finally, the Hall of Fame Award. Induction into the college's Hall of Fame is the highest honor we bestow. Those chosen must have made significant contributions to education and human ecology as role models for all others in their fields. They have distinguished themselves nationally or internationally by making a positive contribution to society and bringing extraordinary credit to EHE and the university. They must be former college faculty members, administrators, or graduates from education or human ecology programs. I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to the 9 2021 award winners. You have truly distinguished yourselves. We are grateful for your service to the college and your chosen fields, and we are all proud to call you our alumni. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Charlie Keenan, President of the Ohio State University College of Education and Human Ecology Alumni Society. On behalf of our Alumni Board, I would like to congratulate all of our 2021 award winners being honored through this virtual recognition. We now have over 100,000 alumni of our college, and to be recognized as the best of the best out of so many amazing graduates is quite a distinction. The awardees being recognized at this event all exhibit the qualities we have come to expect of our grads: dedication, passion, pride, and inspiration, just to name a few. Congratulations to our award recipients and their families. We are all proud of you for your accomplishments and in the way that you represent us all through this recognition. Go Bucks.
Hi, I'm Boluwatiwi Durojai, an alumnus of EHE and the outgoing graduate student representative for the EHE Alumni Society Board of Governors. As you heard earlier from Dean Pope Davis, each year, the college and the EHE Alumni Society Board of Governors grants the New Leader Award to alumni who are 36 years old or younger at the time of their nomination and who have achieved significant personal accomplishments or contributed extraordinary service to the college and EHE's Alumni Society. Recipients of this award also show great promise of making significant accomplishments to their fields in the future. Having recently earned my own doctoral degree at EHE and having served on the EHE Alumni Society, it is my pleasure to present this year's New Leader Award. The 2021 awardee earned both her master's and doctoral degrees in School of Psychology at Ohio State University. She completed her pre-doctoral internship in the Omaha Public Schools District through the Nebraska Internship Consortium in Professional Psychology. She worked as a bilingual school psychologist in the Omaha Public Schools District from 2010 through 2013. From there, she moved to Texas to become a faculty member in the school psychology program at Texas State University from 2013 to 2016. After that, she joined the faculty in the College of Education at the University of Arizona, where she is now an associate professor of disability and psychoeducational studies. Her research focuses broadly on issues of equity and inequity in education. She uses a social justice lens to advance understanding of and advocate for the needs of culturally and linguistically minoritized students. Through primarily qualitative inquiry, the awardee scholarship focuses on three main areas. First, identifying best practices in the training of bilingual school psychologists. Second, preparing culturally competent school psychologists. And third, advancing the educational success of African American, Latinx, and emergent bilingual youth. We are impressed by accomplishment thus far and look forward to witnessing the many important contributions that she would make in the years to come. Please join me in congratulating this year's New Leader Award winner, Dr. Desiree Vega. Congratulations, Dr. Vega. Go Bucks.
So hi, Dr. Vega. I'm Charlie Keenan, and I'm the president of the Education and Human Ecology Alumni Society, and our dean, Dr. Don Pope Davis. Tell us a little bit about, what your time at Ohio State was like.
I started at Ohio State in 2006. The social justice focus was really critical in attracting me to Ohio State. It was a really amazing experience, the 4 years. Getting like critical research experiences, practical experiences, working in Columbus City now, as a practicum student and really getting to apply, what I was learning in the classroom.
Part of the reason I wanted to join this call with you today is to let you know that you have been selected for the New Leadership Award as an alum member of our college.
I'm actually speechless and a little overwhelmed too. This is, I didn't know why this meeting was being held. Wow. I'm definitely speechless. I'm, so grateful, to be selected for this award. It does mean a lot. I think of like my faculty identity, that, mentorship piece is really critical for me and is really central part of my identity. Helping students grow and, become leaders in the field. Having had that myself from, Antoinette, as well as James Moore, who's also, played a really critical role in my career.
We know you will do even more great things as your career continues.
We're just thankful that we have great leaders like you coming out of our college and happy that you're getting this award. So congratulations.
Yeah, I'm very, very thankful.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I am so honored to be the recipient of the New Leader Award. This award means so much to me, and I am very grateful to my doctoral advisor, Dr. Antoinette Miranda, for nominating me. There are so many other people doing amazing work, so it is really an honor to have been selected. When I applied for graduate school back in 2005, I was an undergraduate student, born and raised in New York City, and I had no idea where Ohio was even located. But I was really drawn to OSU's school psychology program because it was one of the few with a Black faculty member and an explicit focus on social justice training. My experiences at OSU did not disappoint and have really shaped my career trajectory over the last 10 years. Dr. Miranda's mentorship, as well as Dr. James Moore's mentorship, has left a long-lasting impact on me, and it's framed my research, my teaching, my mentoring style, my faculty identity, and my professional and personal commitment to advancing social justice and anti-racism. I hope that I can make an impact on my graduate students and the communities I work with in the same way that they have. Thank you again, and I look forward to celebrating in person in the near future. Go Bucks.
As Dean Pope Davis noted, EHE and our Alumni Society present an award for meritorious service to alumni who have contributed extraordinary service to the college and the university. Recipients of this award have dedicated noteworthy time, effort, and service. They have demonstrated their creative, innovative inputs, and some may have made significant financial contributions. The 2021 awardee is a standout in this category. Over the course of her exceptional 43-year-long career in education, she has supported learners from kindergarten to postgraduates as a teacher, a building principal, and adjunct professor, always challenging her students and her staff to be the best in everything they do. Her positive attitude and strong belief in challenging students to be their best has impacted thousands of students and hundreds of educators over her career. Upon her retirement, this awardee continued to have another level of impact on Ohio's educators as she was asked to serve as a project coordinator for Ohio's Elementary School Administrators Professional Association, the OAESA. And she is now serving EHE as a supervisor of early childhood education student teachers. In addition to her work directly with the education profession, this individual has spent years advocating for the success of Ohio State and EHE. From the time she graduated to the present, she has consistently participated in events and activities to support the college and the university. She is a life-sustaining member of the Alumni Association and a member of the OSU President's Club. She has volunteered regularly to support events, to mentor students, and to enhance opportunities for our students. This year's awardee also served for over a decade on the EHE Alumni Society Board of Governors as a member of the board and also as its president. She has also been a representative to the university's Alumni Association, where she served on the committee to select the university's distinguished faculty. This individual also has a passion for supporting our student athletes and has been very involved in the OSU Women's Basketball Boosters Group. She served as president of this organization as well. The awardee has received numerous awards and accolades over the years. In 2013, she was selected by Varsity O to receive the Barbie Tootle Smith Award, and in 2019, she was recognized by the University Association with the Pay It Forward Award for her dedication. This past year, she was recognized by the OAESA with the D. Richard Murray Service Award. It is a true pleasure to recognize her life of service to the college by presenting her with the Meritorious Service Award. Please join me in congratulating Donna Ball. Congratulations, Donna.
Hi, Charlie.
Good to see you.
Great to see you too.
Yeah, I appreciate you could make some time today. I had some conversation with the dean, Don Pope Davis, who's here.
I worked with students this morning, so this is kind of a nice break.
Appreciate you taking the time. How are you doing personally? Pretty good?
Thank you. I am doing very well. I supervise your student teachers, and so I have had a great school year and lots of learning going on, giving feedback and that kind of thing. So it's been a great year.
One of the reasons I wanted to speak with you is to let you know that you have been selected for the Meritorious Service Award to the college as an alum.
Oh my gosh.
And we want to thank you and use this time to thank you for your service, your time, your commitment, your creativity, your assistance in making EHE what it is, and for your time for particularly for the students. Your passion and commitment is well appreciated.
Oh my gosh, I am truly humbled. I just feel like that part of when I started my career, I went back to the same school district that I graduated from. And I spent almost 30 years there giving back to my community and giving back to kids. And so, when I had this opportunity to serve my college, both through the board and now as an educator, that was just really part of what was so strong in my life.
I just wanted to say on behalf of the board and all the alumni that I just, first of all, congratulations and how much we appreciate just your commitment, your devotion, your leadership, and just the role model that you've been that we would want to see from a College of Education grad.
Oh, Charlie, you are most welcome. It has been my pleasure to work with you.
I am sincerely humbled to be even nominated for this prestigious award from the college. The work that I do for the university and the College of Education and Human Ecology is truly a labor of love. When I was elected to the EHE board in 2009, I was in the midst of beating and surviving cancer. I was completing my superintendent's work at OSU, and I was still working at a job that I loved. But the opportunity to assist with the reorganization process of our two colleges and its alumni bases was something I could not shy away from. Little did I know that the next 10 years would be ones that would provide me with friendships and opportunities to give back to the university that gave so much to me. Because of my service to the Alumni Board, I've been able to meet and connect with Buckeye alumni across the country through the Alumni Association. I've been able to meet and support students throughout campus. This service has made me appreciate even more what being an alumnus of the Ohio State University means. I'd like to thank Charlie Keenan for not only nominating me, but for his service and leadership to the EHE Alumni Society. I'd like to thank the EHE board members, both past and present, for connecting and representing the alumni of the college. I'd like to thank the staff in the EHE office for supporting the work of the society. And to Dr. Pope Davis, I'd like to thank him for his leadership during trying times. Last but not least, I'd like to thank my husband Larry and my son Michael, who are both EHE grads, and Michael's family as well, for always supporting what I love to do. Go Bucks!
As Dean Pope Davis mentioned, the Career Achievement Award honors a college's alumni with proven records of noteworthy career accomplishments. These individuals have made outstanding contributions to their professions and the lives of others. This year, we received many nominations for accomplished individuals, all of whom make us very proud to call them our fellow alums. Among these, 4 stood out and have been selected to receive this year's award. It's my pleasure to present them to you now. Our very first winner is someone who has had a remarkably prolific career, publishing more than 100 research articles and serving in faculty and administrative roles at 10 major universities. He has contributed to the field of public health, specifically in the areas of biostatistics, preventative and behavioral medicine, and community and public health over a span of 50 years. During this time, this individual has chaired or been a member of nearly 200 doctoral committees and 45 master's committees. His many awards includes a President's Prize from the American Evaluation Association, induction into the Association of Schools of Public Health, Fitzer Public Health Academy of Distinguished Teachers, and the Statistics Section Award for contribution to public health academe, Statistics Section of the American Public Health Association. I am pleased to announce that Dr. J. Jackson Barnett has received the Career Achievement Award. Congratulations, Dr. Barnett.
Don Pope Davis, Dean of the College.
Nice to meet you.
Glad to meet you virtually. I want you to know that you have been nominated for the Career Achievement Award in the College of Education and Human Ecology. And I'm on the call in part to let you know that you will be receiving this award on behalf of our environment, our college, and our community. Your body of work has really had an impact in the profession and the field, and your care in the lives of others and your assistance in adding to the knowledge base in the field so that others will learn and become knowledgeable and engage in matters that are important to us.
That's quite an honor, especially since, like I said, I've really tried to promote Ohio State in virtually everything I've done. And I just really appreciate the acknowledgement of that and the recognition that I have promoted Ohio State and have made some significant contributions to my field as well. That's wonderful news.
Dr. Barnett, just on behalf of the Alumni Society and all of our alumni, I just want to thank you for everything you've done in your career and just for the example you've set for all of us as educators, from the college. And it's quite an honor. We have 100,000 alumni, and for you to be selected as the person who's receiving the Career Achievement Award really speaks volumes about what you've accomplished and what you've done.
I used to be able to get to Columbus fairly often. In fact, I taught in the summer program for public health several times, and it was great to be able to spend a week there and see old friends and just be on campus. And I grew up in Troy, and so when I would get to Troy, I used to be able to spend a day at the university and see old friends and so forth. And I really do miss that.
We look forward to seeing you once we get on the other side of COVID.
Great. I look forward to being there. I'm very happy to accept the College of Education and Human Ecology Alumni Society Career Achievement Award. I want to thank Dr. Gay Supinel, Professor Emeritus, Dr. Catherine Clark Ike, former president of Rio Grande University. These were two of my first students who went on to get their PhDs and have had outstanding careers in education, and they nominated me for this award. Also want to thank my wife, Lib, who's been with me through the good times and the not so good times in my career. And sometimes I think there needs to be a warning label given to someone who's thinking about marrying a professor, something like, caution, you may be marrying a workaholic. I grew up in Troy, Ohio, great small city with excellent schools. I was already recognized as a future teacher when I was in high school. Here you see a picture of me in my high school yearbook helping a chemistry student with one of her lessons. I loved my time at Ohio State, but Ohio State is not just the buildings or the grounds, it's the people. And I met some great ones there who really influenced my career and my life. When one of the education professors needed to leave fairly quickly, they needed someone to fill in for his class. I was asked to teach the intro statistics class that he was teaching. The more I did this, the more I was becoming hooked on being a professor. Now, we have to admit that statistics is clearly not a subject liked by a lot of people. I wish that I had a camera every time I was on a plane and somebody would ask me what I did in my work, and I'd say, well, I teach statistics. the expressions on their faces would just be something to really capture. I'd get a few smiles and maybe a few positive comments, but most of the time I'd get an expression of something like a youngster's first taste of a raw lemon. I started using Mark Twain quotes in my classes, and I found that these reduced anxiety. And in this picture with Hal Holbrook, who's impersonated Mark Twain for 60 years, he writes, "Jack Barnett, the Mark Twain statistics professor, thank you for all that thinking." I've taught at more than 12 universities, and the student evaluations have been very positive, but you can't please everyone. I had one student write in the evaluation, "I know you worked hard to teach this course, but no one can make liver taste like filet mignon." But the most satisfying evaluation comments would be things like, "I will be a better teacher after watching how you do it." As a teacher, you can't get a nicer, better, rewarding compliment than that. Again, I want to thank the many who've made this possible, my students and my colleagues and others who've influenced my life. And in particular, I'd like to thank the Alumni Society for awarding this grant. I greatly appreciate it.
The next award winner in this category is an affiliate faculty member and assistant director at the Stern Center for Teaching and Learning and George Mason University. She earned her MED at Ohio State as part of the Math, Science, and Technology MSAT program. Upon graduating, she began her career as a teacher, specifically as a high school teacher of Earth and Space Science at Saguaro High School in Arizona. After just 5 years of teaching, she was selected as an Albert Einstein Distinguished Educator Fellow as part of a program that selects top STEM educators from across the nation to serve in government agencies and congressional offices. This awardee served in the Office of Polar Programs at the National Science Foundation as a director for the Joint Science Education Program, a joint initiative between the United States, Denmark, and Greenland. This awardee went on to earn her doctorate in Marine, Earth, and Atmosphere Science with the focus on geoscience education at North Carolina State University. While there, she chaired the Geological Society of America's Education Committee and became the founding president of the Geoscience Education Research Division of the National Association of Geoscience Teachers. Since that time, she has received numerous awards for her research and teaching. She is an elected fellow of the Geological Society of America and received the Society's 2017 Biggs Award for the Excellence in Earth Science Teaching. In her current role, the awardee leads workshops, institutes, learning communities, and other faculty development initiatives focused on evidence-based pedagogical practices. She also continues to teach undergraduate and graduate courses. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Laura Lukes.
How are you today?
Good. I'm having a good day. How about yourself?
Doing well. I appreciate you taking the time to join us today. On the Zoom today, we have our dean from the college, Dr. Don Pope Davis.
Laura, one of the things here, as you may or may not know, at EHE, we have moved from, we're making every effort to move from STEM to STEAM. Do you see that happening, bringing the arts into the conversation? Do you see a space for that in the work that you're doing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would say a lot of that conversation is more focused because on the higher ed side of things, they're finally kind of catching up with K-12 and understanding the value of experiential learning. And so it's happening more at this nexus point with community engaged projects or informal learning experiences for students.
Again, looking at the quality of your work to date, we continue to expect great things from you.
I'm a bit at a loss for words. That really means a lot to me. Like I said, my experience at Ohio State really set me on a very strong career path. And I feel like my experience there, without that, I would not have been able to have all these opportunities and choices, I think, later on in my career, because I got such a strong start through the MSAT program. Thank you. That means a lot, and just that people noticed. I guess the things I've been working on that as a teacher, you always put your heart and soul into the things that you're working on. So it's an honor when people notice, I guess. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Laura Lutz, and I'm deeply honored to receive the EHE Alumni Career Achievement Award today. Before STEM was a household acronym, there was the groundbreaking MSAT, or Integrated Math, Science, and Technology Teacher Preparation Program at Ohio State. This cohort-based MED experience at Ohio State was transformative for me and continues to inform my teaching and leadership practices today. It gave me a strong foundation in learning theory and prepared me not only to use evidence-based practices in my own teaching, but planted a seed for the discipline-based education research that I would engage in and become known for later in my career. The unique cohort experience of the program also encouraged me to be a resource and a model for other educators, preparing me to become the STEM education leader, faculty developer, and community builder I am today. That cohort-based spirit of collaboration and community building can be seen throughout my career achievements, such as my year as an Einstein Fellow at the National Science Foundation, directing the Joint Science Education Project Field School Experience in Greenland, or my year serving as the founding president of the Geoscience Education Research Division of the National Association of Geoscience Teachers, or more recently, my leadership of the creation of the Multi-Institutional Scholarship of Teaching and Learning Collaboratory. Again, it is a tremendous honor to be recognized. Thank you to the selection committee and Mary Stepanek for nominating me. Thank you to all the 2005 MSAT instructors, cohort members, and other SINs who have helped shape my career path. Thank you, and congratulations to the other awardees being recognized tonight.
Our next awardee is a leading expert in sport pedagogy and physical education teacher education. He has authored, co-authored, and referred more than 100 publications during his career and is known for adeptly combining theory and practice, thereby advancing scholarship in the field while making evidence-based approaches accessible to practitioners. A champion for increasing young children's physical activity, he has often testified before legislative committees in several states to support this goal. His impressive work has led to service on the President's Council on Fitness, Sport, and Nutrition Science Board and his membership on the Standing Committee for the Education Sector of the National Physical Activity Plan. This awardee's outstanding record of excellence over the past 3 decades has resulted in being inducted as a fellow by multiple associations, including the National Academy of Kinesiology and the National Association for Kinesiology in Higher Education. In 2018, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame of the Society for Health and Physical Education America. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Hans van der Mars.
It's very important for us to hear from alums, particularly alums who nominate alums for a number of the awards and the matters of distinction that are important to us here at EHE.
Very good. Where do I begin?
As Dean of the college, I want to let you know that one of the reasons I'm having this conversation with you is to let you know that you have been selected for EHE's Career Award this year.
This is all a ruse, isn't it?
So I wanted to be able to tell you that personally and to really thank you for the contribution that you have made. You reflect that same kind of commitment to the profession, to students, and the impact that your work has had. And so we thank you for being one of us, and we thank you for your contribution, and we want to celebrate your success.
I should have showered, I guess. Sorry, that slipped out before I could stop it. Well, needless to say, that's a wonderful honor. When I moved from Europe, where I was born and raised, came to the U.S. and spent a couple of years in upstate New York, and I was encouraged by my then master's mentor to pursue doctoral work. Ohio State was the ultimate choice, and I never, ever regretted making that choice. The experience that I had at Ohio State was just a superb experience, and I've been able to stand on the shoulders of giants. I'm almost speechless, so sorry.
Having the interaction with students and transforming their lives is really an important task, and we graciously appreciate your effort in making that a priority and impacting the profession.
Your passion, your dedication just, comes through from just, the way you speak and your dedication to your profession. And so congratulations on behalf of the Alumni Association.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Hans Vandemars, and I just want to take this opportunity to thank the awards committee for this wonderful honor to receive the Career Achievement Award at Ohio State University from the College of Education and Human Ecology. It is truly an honor to be recognized in this way. But I first need to thank the awards committee for bestowing this honor on me. In addition, I want to thank the nominators for setting me up for this award. Their names are Tom McKenzie, Jackie Lund, and Mike Metzler. Each of them are also Ohio State Buckeye graduates from the same program from which I graduated in 1984. The reason this award is so personal to me is because my time at Ohio State was probably one of the best experiences educationally that I could have ever imagined. And it was a wonderful experience in no small part because of my doctoral mentor, Dr. Daryl Seedentop. I'm standing on the shoulders of this giant in our field. He has made such enormous contributions, and he has been a mentor for over 80 doctoral students. And I'm just pleased that I was afforded the opportunity to be one of those graduates. The experiences at Ohio State University's program in the doctoral area of physical education, teacher education, and sport pedagogy was first rate. The experiences we received prepared us to not just become researchers, but also physical education teacher educators. And those are the dual functions that I think are essential if we are to move our field forward. Again, my thanks to the awards committee, my nominators. This has been a wonderful recognition, and I will forever cherish that. Thanks very much.
Our fourth and final 2021 Career Achievement Awardee has dedicated his career to helping higher education institutions expand their resources and global partnerships with an emphasis on new technologies and innovation. This awardee has a track record of leadership, including serving as consultant evaluator for the Higher Learning Commission, committee member for multiple initiatives at the Ohio Department of Education, and leadership facilitator for the Chief Academic Officers Leadership Program of the American Council on Education. Currently, this awardee is National Board Chair of Global Ties US and sits on multiple boards such as the International Visitors Council. He is a member of the U.S. Speakers Bureau, sponsored by the U.S. Department of State, and of the Forbes Nonprofit Council. In his role as Provost and Executive Vice President, he leads Ohio's leading institution of higher education focused on adult education, Franklin University. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Christopher Washington.
We have not met, but I'm the Dean of the College of Education and Human Ecology here at The Ohio State, and we have had the same challenges, as you know, in terms of learning, relearning, learning new ways of doing education in our environments.
I served as a university provost, and I had the opportunity to lead a small college campus that I ended up having to close, as a result of the pandemic and what it meant to us in terms of, refunding residence halls and meal plans and not being able to utilize the facilities. And, we were on a significant growth trajectory. So I understand what, that the impact of the pandemic has meant in terms of going online, having to deal with the stress of educators as well as students and families. For my part, I've written articles about it. I wrote the cover article for eLearning magazine about, the pandemic's impact on learning, and, did quite a bit in terms of writing for the faculty on Medium about, future fit skills and things we need to adapt in our curriculum to, support learners as they, deal with a changing world, changing workforce, as well as educational landscape. We continue to sort of discover what's needed to prepare education in a world where we have to provide greater access. We have to democratize education a bit more, and we have to make sure that teachers are prepared for a very different world.
You have had a tremendous impact in bringing about change.
Well, thank you.
I'm part of this conversation today to tell you that you have been selected for our Career Achievement Award.
Wow.
Here in our college, again, based upon the body of work that you've done.
My goosebumps have goosebumps. I'm a proud alum of The Ohio State University. And if it weren't for the experience there, I wouldn't be doing some of the things that I do because of the reputation of our institution. I've done projects for the United Nations, for UNESCO on the future of education. I'm very much actively engaged with the American Council of Education. And you can, when you're involved in these organizations, you run into OSU grads, and so that says something about, the work of our institution, the reach and the impact that our graduates are having. And I'm proud to be a, very small part of that story.
Hi, I'm Dr. Christopher Washington. I want to thank the Ohio State University College of Education and Human Ecology for the Career Achievement Award. In accepting it, I am reminded of those friends who encouraged me to pursue doctoral studies at a time when I did not see the potential to do so in myself. My journey was supported by my wife Shannon, my children, talented collaborators, and world-class scholars at Ohio State, mentors like Dr. Ron Jacobs. This educational journey provided me with opportunities to collaborate on scholarship, to engage in consulting projects, and to travel internationally to present at conferences and events. My Ohio State degree continues to catapult me in new directions and across borders. Today, I get to develop leaders, collaborate with scholars and educators, and to represent my country as an educational diplomat in nations around the world. I want to thank Stacy Doerr for nominating me. And thank you to Dean Don Pope Davis and members of the College of Education Alumni Council. I will cherish this Career Achievement Award for many years to come.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mindy Fari, and I am President-elect of the EHE's Alumni Society. And as the President-elect, it is my honor to present this year's Hall of Fame Award winners to you. The Hall of Fame Award is the highest honor bestowed by the college, and it's reserved for alumni, former faculty members, and administrators who have made highly significant contributions to the field of education or human ecology, such that they have become role models for all others in their fields. This year, we have chosen 3 individuals of distinction to receive the Hall of Fame Award. Our first award is made posthumously to an individual who had a long and illustrious career at 4 universities, serving longest at Ohio State for 22 years, starting in 1967. Always innovative, this awardee developed several graduate degree programs, including a neuroscience program and research lab that involved faculty in medicine, engineering, and education, pioneering the study of brain development to understand how we learn. In the College of Education, the awardee developed the Office for Research and Development Services with an outreach program to provide training and development services to the private sector. With colleagues in this office, the awardee worked with major manufacturing corporations, universities, and banking, financial, and sales operations throughout the United States, China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Indonesia. These relationships allowed him to involve graduate students in outreach and research endeavors, as well as provided the opportunity for him to travel internationally to work with clients. His expertise, recognized worldwide, resulted in his serving on the boards of banks and corporations and lecturing at universities globally. A key project was the awardees' creation of an industrial arts curriculum funded by $2 million from the government, business, labor unions, and more. The curriculum introduced middle school students to the world of construction and manufacturing by teaching the processes of large-scale construction and mass production industries. The 4-year evaluation involved 20,000 students and their teachers in 13 states. He and colleagues published the curriculum commercially and managed the workshops at 45 institutions to prepare teachers to use the system. The curriculum guided the revision of the university's technology teacher education program, and other universities soon followed suit. This awardee also served as president of the Council for Technology Teacher Education and National Council for Industrial and Technology Teacher Education. Thanks to him and other faculty, his program at Ohio State was ranked #1 nationwide for many years by U.S. News and World Report. With this Hall of Fame award presented posthumously to his family, we honor the memory of Dr. James Buffer. To his wife, Dr. Loretta Buffer, and his children, Jim, Jeff, Tom, and Karen, and to the entire family, we offer our heartfelt congratulations.
Growing up, my entire childhood, there was this preeminent presence of Ohio State and the College of Education. My dad would gather all 4 of us. He started out in industrial arts, and we would go to the shop on a Saturday morning, and he would have us refilling glue containers and having us practice the projects that his students had created to teach special education students. And he would make us be the students and practice to see if his students' designs would actually work in the real world. There was always a student at our house. They were at the kitchen table. They were at holiday dinners. They were in our backyard. They were just always there. He absolutely changed the way educators educate special needs kids. He was a servant to the university, and he was a servant to every student and fellow faculty and staff member that came his way.
From staff in the building, faculty in his college, when he worked in the dean's office, College of Education, they seemed to develop really deep relationships with him. They were lasting relationships, a lot of memories. The people that he associated with became almost like members of our family.
When it came to his professional colleagues and graduate students, every one of them was a full human being who needed to be helped, who needed to be advanced, and it needed to be able to live up to their full potential. That's the way he handled things. It wasn't a job. One of the things I was always struck by was his sense of loyalty to the institution and the idea that he needed to do what he could to bring it forward. It was a very much all or nothing approach that he took.
Every year, we identify in the college a small cohort of people that we believe have had a tremendous impact on the lives of our students and the people who they touch. This year, we have selected Dr. James, your better half, if you will, for this award, and it is called the Hall of Fame distinction. It is the highest honor that our college can bestow upon an alum of our college. It is given to an individual who has contributed to education, made a difference in the lives of others, and continues to motivate by their example, by their history, by their experience in order to do that.
That's wonderful.
So it's a nice honor for his legacy in the College of Education, and my mom, who also was a longtime part of the college and the university, yes. And it's his legacy is something that resonates with all of us, and so this is it's nice to see him honored in this way, and we are most appreciative.
Yeah, it's a wonderful surprise. And I know he's listening and telling us, say what you have to say. Don't talk too long. He would be very proud and humble and then laughing. Thank you for the opportunity to accept the Alumni Hall of Fame Award from the College of Education and Human Ecology at The Ohio State University on behalf of my husband, Dr. James Buffer. This is truly a well-deserved honor that is being bestowed upon him in his memory. And if I have heard correctly, the first person to receive this wonderful award posthumously. Writing and accepting speech is not as easy as it sounds, especially when the receiver is no longer living, when he's your husband of 57 years, and when he had 3 families, one in Upper Arlington, Ohio, one at The Ohio State University, and one in Chicago, Illinois, where he established his roots in education. On the other hand, it becomes easier when the person accepting the award is privy to what has been written about him by his closest Ohio State colleagues, who might be called his 4th subfamily, as those who witnessed his work in education weekly, in the classroom, the lab, the library, or wherever his work took him. Of the many things Jim was proud of, one accomplishment that stood out was making technology education accessible to a new generation, including students with special needs. Jim was most proud of his 4 children shared his love of higher education, all who became college graduates, including 3 OSU alumni, 2 from the College of Education. And I'm proud to say that I am also a graduate of the College of Education with 2 degrees, master's and PhD. If any and everything said about him over the years, the most telling was when several students whom he taught and nurtured placed an ad in the Lantern, the student newspaper at Ohio State, which declared, "Dr. Jim Buffer, the professor who gave a damn." Thank you again for this wonderful honor. Our second awardee was nominated by Dr. James Moore, Vice Provost for Diversity and Inclusion and Chief Diversity Office of The Ohio State University. Dr. Moore described the award winner as one of the living giants of diversity, equity, and inclusion work in the history of Ohio State. After completing his undergraduate education at Morehouse College, where he studied sociology, and earning his master's degree in counseling at Atlanta University, he earned his PhD in higher education administration at Ohio State. From there, he held various roles at Ohio State, rising through the ranks as resident hall director, faculty member, dean of University College, and vice provost for minority affairs. His many achievements in these roles included securing more study abroad scholarships for students of color and developing the Todd Anthony Bell National Resource Center on the African American male, the premier center of its kind throughout the United States. This awardee scholarship has advanced understanding about diversity and inclusion in education. In addition, he served as editorial board member, editor-in-chief, and president for the nationally recognized peer-revised journal Negro Education Review. He was a founding member for the National Association of Diversity Officers in Higher Education and a vice chair of the Board of Trustees for the International Foundation for Education and Self-Help. Over the course of his trailblazing career, he touched the lives and helped shape the careers of thousands of Ohio State students, staff, and faculty of color. He devoted his professional life to improving education for students of color and socioeconomically disadvantaged students. As Dr. Moore explained, that long before it was fashionable, the awardee instinctively realized that inclusion has merit and diversity brings us strength. He's a very humble person, as very unlikely to take credit for many of the diversity, equity, and inclusion advancements that the university currently benefits from across campus, but is very deserving of much of the credit. It is my pleasure to present the Hall of Fame Award to Dr. Max Stewart. Dr. Stewart, thank you for your many years of deeply important contributions, and congratulations.
Dr. Stewart, could you talk a little bit about your experiences at Ohio State?
I've been around Ohio State before retiring, but from when I came as a PhD student until that time, 40 years. And so I certainly have seen a lot of changes during that period of time. I am totally committed to doing all that I can for the university, but especially for education and human ecology.
Part of the reason I'm part of the conversation today with you is to let you know that we have selected you as one of our recipients for our Hall of Fame award for EHE, for our College of Education and Human Ecology.
It's a lot to digest in a short span of time. I did not expect this. I thought I was speaking with donors. And nevertheless, I might add, in terms of your words, are so kind, and that I am happy, I'm honored, and it's all with great humility.
I really want you to know that we appreciate you and what you've done, and what we hope you will continue to do.
Well, Dr. Stewart, this is a seminal moment for me. All that I am and that I hope to be, you played a critical role in it. And so in many ways, when you say pay it forward, you certainly paid it forward, because I wouldn't be able to sit in the seat that I sit in and to be able to walk on the hologram of Ohio State if it weren't for you. Certainly your wisdom, your sage wisdom, and advice and guidance. Not only you brought me to the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, but you never left me. And you've been walking with me from the very beginning. I won't ever reach to your level of excellence, but you certainly gave me a roadmap. And so I can't think of any other person that is most deserving of being inducted into EHE's Hall of Fame. Your name will forever stand the test of time. And I just want to congratulate you. And I want to also thank Mrs. Stewart for letting you give so much to people like me and others. So congratulations.
You've done such an outstanding job that I'm just honored and grateful and appreciative to all of you in terms of for your kind words.
Your legacy lives on, not just through your own work, but through those that you've influenced and inspired.
Thank you for joining us.
No, thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thanks to all of you. I am grateful to the College of Education and Human Ecology for this recognition. An event like this one is a time for reflection, and I'm truly thankful to the many people over the years who have had an impact on my life, beginning with the one-room school in rural Georgia, to my professors and fellow students in the College of Education here at Ohio State. I am also grateful to my family, my sons and their families, and especially my wife for being my rock over the years in our effort to improve the lives of people by rethinking how we can motivate and deliver knowledge to those we served in educational institutions. During my youth, it was widely believed that education had become the primary instrument of social and economic mobility, and a college degree was considered the passport to the good life. I recognized that was essential to bring parity to the college going rate for the underserved. Consequently, I became committed to trying to make positive changes in this area. This effort was greatly enhanced by Congress passing the National Defense Education Act in response to Russia's launch of Sputnik and the academic support programs of the Great Society's legislation. These actions provided financial aid for access and supported services program for retention. While I have several points of pride from being on campus several years, I feel compelled to highlight the Todd Bell Center, where there are more than 500 African American males with a 3.0 or higher grade point average on campus each semester. Ohio State was also a national leader in developing and executing the university's diversity action plans. I have come to realize that the work in this area is like a race at a track meet. It is not a sprint, but a relay. One generation can go only so far before passing the baton to the next generation, hoping that they will continue to address these important issues, for there is still much work to be done. During my career, I have attempted to make this world a little more of hope, a little less of fear, and a better place by my having traveled here. I thank you. I'm honored, I'm happy, and I'm humbled.
Our final Hall of Fame award this year goes to an individual who is also nominated by Dr. Moore. The awardee grew up in Flint, Michigan, having moved there with his family as part of the Great Migration of Black people from the South to industrial cities in the North. He earned a bachelor's degree at Western Michigan University and a master's degree in social work from the University of Michigan. After working with the Urban League of Cleveland and the NAACP, he came to Ohio State where he earned a PhD in psychology and education. Through a chance encounter, this awardee embarked on a storied career in entrepreneurship, becoming one of the first Black McDonald's franchise owners. From there, as his nominator explained, this early success in the fast food business was a mere precursor of what would become a legendary business career, spanning a handful of industries including newspapers, car dealerships, real estate, gaming, and automotive parts. Along the way, he stuck to his principle of people over profits, even as he became one of America's most successful businessmen with his company, Global Automotive Alliance, racking up more than $5 billion in sales to the country's leading automobile manufacturers. He is known for generously sharing his advice and perspective to new entrepreneurs. He authored a bestseller, Millionaire Moves: 7 Proven Principles of Entrepreneurship. His generosity is also philanthropic, always paying it forward to the next generation. Beneficiaries of his gracious giving include Western Michigan University, the University of Michigan, the Ohio State University, and the National Museum of African American History. With a career that spans more than 60 years and reflects success on so many levels, this awardee truly embodies the spirit of EHE's Hall of Fame Award. Please join me in congratulating Dr. William Pickard. Congratulations.
I came to Ohio State in 1969. It was at the height of the unrest in urban America. And I came from Cleveland, where I was director of the NAACP Cleveland chapter. And when I walked in, I thought one day I would be able to get through the program and hopefully come out and be an administrator in community colleges. That was my area of interest, because it was indeed community colleges that had changed my life. I was not a very great student in high school. I had moved from down south to up south in the 10th grade. And down south, I was a very good student. My family was a very prominent Black family in the Black community. But when I got up north, everything changed for me, and I went the wrong way with the wrong crowd. And I wound up going to a community college, and the gentleman there, Mr. Earl J. Mahoney, told my family that it was a waste of money and they should not invest in my going to this community college. It took me 3 years to get out of there, but then I went on to Western Michigan in social work, then down to the place in Ann Arbor for a master's in social work. And then I worked about 4 years in Cleveland, first for the Urban League for 2 years, then for the NAACP for 2 years. The Ohio State experience was great for me for 3 reasons. One, I'd always had an affinity for reading and knowledge. I was able to get serious about that aspect of my development. Number 2, it was a reprieve from the urban turmoil I had lived in for the 4 years in Cleveland, being very activist in the civil rights movement. And number 3, I was exposed to new things and new people. who were like-minded here, who also had interest in greater things. And I won't bore you how I made the transition to McDonald's and business, but it was the catalyst was High Street, because there I was able to interact with a lot of outstanding people, including a professor named Adam Don Bourgeois, who I believe was from Chicago, and a professor at that time in the School of Education. Arnold Pinckney was my mentor. He passed away, a couple of years ago. And I had a great run in Cleveland. I was, at 27 years of age, if you can believe this, I was the executive director of the NAACP. I was really committed to this thing of Black empowerment. I learned how the games were played, and I learned that some people were very serious. But getting to Ohio State really was a great moment in my life. I was able to step back from that aspect of urban life for a moment. Dean, I read about you, of course. I'm especially impressed with the number of minority faculty you have. I don't know where you get them from, but God bless you, and you're quite a leader.
I appreciate that compliment. We continue to work hard to do that, and so I appreciate your support. We have been particularly impressed and animated by your story and your contribution, the ability to make a difference in your community, and more importantly in the world, and taking on particular aspects of leadership and management. To that end, I want to officially tell you this. We have selected you as one of our recipients for our Hall of Fame award in the College of Education and Human Ecology.
Wait, sir, this is Bill Pickard. You got the right guy?
We are acutely aware of what we're doing. Unless you're about to tell us something we don't know, we're pretty sure we've got the right guy. This is the highest honor our college gives every year to a very small group of alums who have done something to transform the lives of others.
I'm shocked, first of all, but I appreciate it, but I'm shocked. Of what I've done, very seldom does the Academy look upon me, either Ann Arbor or any place else, as far as I know. But I'm very comfortable with myself. I'm just another example of a lower class kid, Black or white, but especially Black. And when you tell me I can't do something, that just means I have to work 3 times as hard. So, Dean, this is a magical moment in my life, and I appreciate it.
You've impacted lives, and so thank you for accepting this. I'm going to turn it over a little bit to Dr. James Moore to say a few words.
You came in my life in the right time, and you have been a true inspiration for me. Much of what I want to achieve in life, and you have given me insight and encouragement, and you have not wavered in your support and encouragement of me. And so you're the type of person that a person like me aim to reach some degree of success. And what you have shared with me is that you can be ordinary and do extraordinary things. And where our roads really connect, even though we might have grew up in a different time, but we share similar values, stories, and experiences of growing up in the South and having a village that cheer us on and believe that we can achieve. And so you have touched so many people, and it's always feel like I'm in a class that I need to take notes. And so I can't think of a better person. And I'm honored to be a member of the College of Education and Human Ecology, where they can recognize the variety of talent and contributions that people bring to our college. And I can't think of a better person is deserving. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Dean, Dr. Moore. And by the way, Dr. Moore, as my granddad would say, boy, I'm going to take you to the woodshed because I knew nothing about this. but I appreciate it. And you use two words I love, that ordinary people can do extraordinary things. And that is the essence of my life. And I'm very moved by this, guys. I tell you, because, again, I get stuff all the time, but not at the Academy.
First, allow me to thank the Dean and the leadership of the Ohio State College of Education and Human Ecology. My journey here started in 1969, and I'm oftentimes reminded of George Bernard Shaw's statement, "Life is not about finding yourself. Life is not about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself." And I can say very proudly that it was here during those great years of 1969 to 1971 that Ohio State University School of Education permitted me to help create myself or recreate myself, because I had come out of the civil rights movement 4 challenging years. So thank you again. I am forever indebted, and thank you very, very much.
Good evening. My name is Pablo Baños, and I'm with the Office of Development and Alumni Relations. At the College of Education and Human Ecology, we have a lot to be proud of. First, we are working with community partners to enhance best practices around a few strategic initiatives, from early childhood education to STEAM education to health and economic vitality, just to name a few. Second, we are also very proud of having a record fundraising year during this past fiscal year, raising nearly $14 million to support the important work of our students, faculty, and programs. Third, we are also very proud of having the second largest alumni population at The Ohio State University, with 100,000 EAT Buckeyes around the globe. And tonight, 9 members of the EAT family are being recognized for their outstanding contributions to society. You make us all very proud, and you represent the best of our college. Congratulations, and go Bucks!